Ciao a tutti, it's Arium, and today we are profiling chain gadgets. I know what you're saying, you already profiled gadgets, but that was Gadget Tricks. That was Poison's build from HC22, the championships. This is my list with the help of Limurphy, based on Limurphy's Firewater gadget lists. And if you look at Firewater, there's a bunch of decks that see play there that don't see play in Hat. Stuff like Firefist sees a lot less play. Decks like Fire Kings, RPs, Dark Worlds see no play. And, for all of those decks, you can look at them and in 1 second, you know why they don't see play in Hat. But with gadgets, I mean, what? Why are they not playing? I don't know. And I've been playing Heraldics and they're pretty similar, so I wanted to try out gadgets. And I'm currently 3-1 in DCT in the Duis Cup, and since when has content stopped me from giving away my decks and giving my opponents an advantage in a tournament? So let's go. Yeah. It's chain gadgets, so we play 3 copies of our gadgets. We'll read chain summoning whenever we get to it in a little bit, but yeah, 3 of each gadgets. You want to see 1. If you see 2, you're fine. If you see 3, you're starting to sweat a little. If you see 4, you're gonna cry to your mama. And if you see 0, you hope you see 1 pretty fucking soon. 2 Myrmeleos, you don't really need to start your turn 1 by opening a gadget, so it's not like you have too many normal summons. She can kind of suck in if you draw her mid-game if you are already going through a gadget time, but usually if you are going through that, you just prioritize Myrmeleo and, it's not the end of the world. You've still basically drawn a trap, so that's fine. And for our last normal summon, we are playing 1 copy of Gear Frame, Machina Gear Frame. You search it out with Gigantes whenever you need access to Machina Fortress. So yeah. Then we are running our extenders, 3 copies of Tingled Fish, and 3 copies of Kage to Kage. I'm not entirely sure if it's correct, but I often said the third Tinglefish out because, it's searchable and, more importantly, recyclable with Gigantex. Like, one of the main power plays of the deck is like with Chase Summoning, you can keep using Tinglefish and, you can turn 3 normal summons into 3 XYZs by going into Gigantex and recycling the Tinglefish each time. And Kage to Kage is searchable of King of the Fire Lamps. You can trigger Chain Summoning with it, you can trigger Myrmeleo's better effect with it, make a Machina Fortress, so yeah, definitely must play. And then to round off the monster lineup, we are playing 1 copy of Machina Fortress and 1 copy of Redox. One, they give you rank 7 access, which is fine in and of itself. Machina Fortress gives you an auto skill drain, gives you a purpose to all the gadgets you search if you have a lot of them in hand, which happens if you A, brick, or B, use Soul Charge. It's also really strong versus Constellars, ironically enough, because if they target it with play this, you rip a card out of their hand. If you let it crash into play this, they get to pop another card and it comes back, and yeah, it can be a bit of an issue. But most decks can kind of handle it fine. I think Geargias probably might have a bit of an hard time, maybe, because they kind of are stuck with 101 or Exiton to pop it, and if it's Exiton, it's fine. If it's 101, it's a bit less fine. You have to hand rip, but yeah. And with Redox, you can normal summon a gadget, Redux discard the other gadget and special summon it, and you get a rank 4. Obviously, you need another gadget already engraved or a monster already engraved to be able to use that effect, but yeah, it can be pretty much monster reborn in the deck, and it's pretty much card neutral. The discard replaces itself because you summon it and you search, and it's gadgets. So yeah, going into the spell lineup, we are running 3 copies of Soul Charge. So this is pretty much the biggest change from Firewater to here, and it's a pretty positive change. Gadgets kind of have the biggest Soul Charge in the format, in the late game, which is why we run 3, despite the fact that it's not an early game Soul Charge kind of deck. The fact that you can literally go +9 of Soul Charge if you summon like something like this. It's kind of insane. Like this is a +9. And you can get more pluses with the expertise you make. So, like, I don't know, it's pretty fucking good. But you know what is also really fucking good? 3 copies of Chain Summoning, kind of the namesake of the deck. Am I awkward today? I don't know. Chain Summoning, if you don't know what this card does, pretty much it lets you normal summon twice this turn instead of once. But you have to activate it as a chain link tree, and the first chain links cannot be any cards with the same name. So pretty much you can trigger it with Soul Charge by summoning different names. You can trigger it with Kagetokage. You can trigger it with your opponent's back rows responding to your normal summons. You can trigger it with quick plays like Forbidden Lance, which you're playing 3 of. We can trigger it off chainable traps. And there's one great trap with a great synergy that we will get to in a second. But yeah, 3 lances. I like Lance in rank 4 decks. What can I say? I like being able to make Exiton without too much to worry about. I like being able to play into Breakthrough without having to worry about much. It's also kind of a battle trap, which, this deck likes battle traps. But we'll get there when we get there. But, Lance can kind of do that, but only versus a very select few of monsters. Mainly normal summons. You can't really do anything versus Exorcist monsters, really. Like, every once in a while, you can maybe do that with Green Gadget or Mermaleo, but, it's not really something you rely on. And to round off the spell lineup, we are running 1 copy of Mind Control. It's arguable whether you want this in the main deck or side deck. I mainly followed Blame Murphy's advice on this. He says it's really good, so whatever, sure, fuck it. The thing is, like, every deck runs either a level 4 or a level 7, so even if a deck doesn't like run 4s like Spellbooks or Mythics, they do have a 7, so I can still kind of use it, not like it wouldn't be a side out versus Spellbooks, but just saying. It's not completely okay, it's fine. Okay, it's if Priestess comes down, they have Wisdom. It's obvious, but it's fine. Going into traps, we are playing 3 copies of Finish Chain because we like battle traps, but battle traps are shit. I would like to play Mirror Force in this deck. It's probably my 41st and 42nd slots. I don't have the space for it. They are not the 40th and 39th slots, so yeah. Plus, we're also running 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. This is the card I was talking about with Chain Summoning. Pretty much, if you are down to just a gadget and you are in top deck mode and you top deck Chain Summoning and you have Breakthrough engrave, it's fine. You can just normal summon gadget, Chainlink to Breakthrough, Chainlink 3 Chain Summoning, and if you're in top deck wars, you've probably just won. So, yeah. And, besides that, it's Breakthrough. And because I'm playing 3 copies of Finish Chain, 2 Breaker Skills, I'm also playing Giant Hand in the side deck. I've decided that for my trouble, I would rather be playing Void instead of TTHN. And also Bottlenecks, obviously. You know, the thing is, like, if you've seen my Void Trouble video, the main thing that Void loses to compared to TTHN is Exiton. And, you know, it is a big worry for this deck, but, you know, those plus if you are in a situation where that is a big worry, you probably made Giant Hand already, just out of precaution. So yeah, it's fine. Void can pop. It can stop like 101, Tiras, Stardust, Spark. You know, a bunch of annoying stuff. Just lost to Stardust Spark recently this tournament. This would have been nice to have. And then, you know, we're running just Caboose. Got the quarter century. How's it look on camera? It's cool. Torrential. And, you know, warning. Nothing new here. It's just the one-offs. And also, this deck does respect the sensibility in deck building of a child because it's 10 traps, 10 spells, 20 monsters. Going into the extra deck, we are running 2 copies of Gilligan Tex. Honestly, like, there is no space for a third, but if you play the third, it would come up sometimes. Like, you would probably win fine even without it, but, you know, you will still make it if you run 3. Because, like, you can search fucking Gear Frame, you can search and recycle in Goldfish. If you bricked or got stuff negated with Breakthrough Skill, you can search or recycle a Gadget with it. So yeah, it's really good. King of the Fire searches Kage. It's also 2000 defense, which is a lot better than Gigant's 115, so you can just put it in defense mode and be fine. It goes to Emerald, because we want to recycle our gadgets, and, you know, drawing the card is good too. Going into, you know, the more utility XYZs, we are running 2 copies of 101. Let's put this down here. 2 copies of 101, because you know, you're kinda if you play a deck that wins only through rank 4s, really, you kinda want 2 101s, because what else are you gonna do? 1 copy of Exiton. I'm not playing 2, mainly because this deck, it gains too much card advantage for its own good, so you cannot really exit on all willy-nilly because all your gadgets and literally all of your normal summons are +1s. It's kinda like Kilmos in that sense. But no, yeah. I'm sure the second Exiton will come up every once in a while, but really it's not enough for to warrant it, in my opinion. Because deck passes too hard. First world problems, I know. Then 2 copies of Dweller, because it's a rank 4 deck that only wins through rank 4s, and otherwise I have no Wincom versus Mermels. 1 Rhapsody. Black Ship. Giant Hand for mainly if, you know, the opponent can make Exiton on the comeback. You know, you can generally tell. Just look at what they have in graveyard. If they have 2 level 4s in graveyard, they can make Exiton and just push back the board. So you want to make that Giant Hand. 1 Diamond Darwolf, 1 Heartland Draco. You know, I've never been a fan of Diamond Darwolf. This was the 15th slot. This has come up every single match up until this point. So yeah, I guess in this deck it works. I don't think it usually does, and by I don't think, I mean I've tried it in other decks, and unless it's Infernities, I've never liked it. In this deck it works because, like, Gadget already plus so hard that you know, going minus with Diamond Wolf is kind of fine. I guess, sometimes. Funniest thing is that, like, both in round 1 and round 2, I used Diamond Wolf to pop specifically Finnish that was already face up. It targeted specifically Black Sheep of Corn, and what are the fucking odds of that happening? I don't know. Heartflame Draco. You know, if you're stuck in top deck mode or whatever, the opponent has low on life, just make Heartflame Draco, you win. At round of the extra deck, one copy of Draco Sack for the rank 7 plays. A couple of cards that I wanted to play, but there was no real room for them. And, I felt like these utility spots were a bit better, especially since Giant Hand is kind of important to end on. Is Ragnar Zero and Fairy King Albertvich, whatever the fuck his name is, the rank 4 that only requires 2 Earths, and that sucks ass. It doesn't quite suck as much as when you have Ragnar Zero with it. Basically it permanently reduces the attack of non-Earth monsters by 500. Attack and defense. That's a +4 combo with Ragnar Zero, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to play that. Decided to be a bit serious and not. So, yeah. But, you could consider that an option. Going into the side deck. One Cycle Reader. We're playing Gear Tech, so we can search it and recycle it, so kinda self-explanatory. 3 copies of Maxi, 3 copies of DD Crow. It's SAT format, these are obligatory. 1 Dark Hole. Honestly, I will probably cut this. Not because it's not good, but because, having only 2 copies of MST is not the best feeling in the world. And Dark Hole is kind of the most cuttable card in the side deck, in my opinion. So, yeah. Then we are running the Anti-Graveyard Brigade, Diffusher, Soul Drain, Macrocosmos. And to round off the side deck, we are running the 1 Deep Dark Trapple and the 1 Acid Trapple for the Myrmelio. Honestly, you could also consider cutting one of those for the third MST, since, we're only running 2 Myrmelios, no Dionia, so, Trapples are not that big of a focus, but, it's fine. So yeah, that was it from me. You long awaited this deck profile for like a whole 2 days. And, I should have probably waited for like a week until I finish the tournament. Because now everyone is gonna know what my exact deck list is and what my thought process is when playing. But, whatever, it's fine, it's fine. If you like, join the Discord, leave a comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good shit, and goodbye.